Hey guys, Shelemental here. So for this video, we will be discussing whether or not the quality of WoW has been going down. What I mean by this is we will be attempting to determine whether or not Blizzard has been showing the same amount of care and dedication to their game as they have in the past. Before we begin, as with most discussions, this will be opinion based, although I do have facts and a few statistics to back me up on what I have to say on the matter. I also do love WoW, and many of the points are constructive criticism that I have for the game. I have no intent on quitting and truly have a deep passion for Azeroth and all the wonderful things we find within it. So let's get right into it. When World of Warcraft first came out, Blizzard didn't have much expectation for how large the game would get, and when they first started, the thought of 1 million players seemed insane to them. However, little by little did they know they'd be soon owning the MMORPG market as a whole. Since WoW's amazing launch 11+ years ago, Blizz mentioned soon after its release that they wanted to make each expansion afterwards to feel like they could bring the same level of excitement and refreshment into the game that we see in the initial hype of WoW's success beginning to wear down. Blizzard, in due time, releases the first World of Warcraft expansion, the Burning Crusade. This expansion did indeed once again charm the player base, and the game continued on this trend, growing in size and number until Cataclysm. We see the first drop of players in over 6 years, and I'm sure both the players and Blizzard can ask themselves why. I believe that WoW is aging. Now before you all drop me a dislike and leave the video in an angry hustle, I do believe that lately, Blizzard has shown that they can teach an old dog new tricks with the Kickoff Legion going so well. But if what I say is true, why does it seem like each expansion isn't captivating us to play like in Wrath and TBC? Well, for one, I think it all comes down to nostalgia. For many players, WoW isn't the same as it used to be, and some of the new expansions coming out are trying too hard to be what vanilla was, and they really aren't. Many players who have been this trade from the start may look at WoW as their favorite toy. Sure, a new toy can be great when you first get it. It could be good for a long while, maybe become bored with it, find a game to play with it, but in the end you most likely outgrow it. And that toy can be polished off, maybe even get a replacement, but it's not the same as when that toy was new. Well then why can't WoW just become the replacement toy? Mainly because of how Blizzard has been releasing content in the recent years. In Wrath, we see how Blizzard made sure that heroic dungeons were relevant all through the expansion, meaning you had a reason to go back and continue on with them. In Warlords, I went at all the dungeons once. I am very glad that Blizzard used quests to explore the dungeons now in this expansion, so you actually have a reason to go in there, plus the whole mythic keystone mechanic. But that's not the point I'm trying to make here. The point is, Blizzard has been giving us both fun and challenging content to do. Patch 5.4 in Mists of Pandaria lasted for around 11 months. Patch 6.2 in WoD lasted about the same. We were left with the same things to do without content for almost a year, which is why the game's quality can be looked at as going down. The dailies in 5.4 were fun, and I like the exploring the Isles to find new elites and kills, sort of like the treasure hunting quest that we have right now, but I haven't enjoyed them as much as the dailies. The content that was there was fun, yes, but the problem is that Blizzard's leaving us with that same content for too long, leaving players feeling burnt out with what they have there. If Blizz would have put in more mini patches with fun things to do that would have been entertaining and not make the game feel as dry, if that could have led us into Legion, it would have made so much more sense for the game, as we would have had things to do leading up to the expansion, sort of like the pre-patch, but if we could have had that earlier, it would have made so much more sense. Having said that, the game's difficulty is one topic that can also make the game feel not as new and polished as it did in vanilla. I really liked what Blizz did with the artifact challenge, keyword there, and I really feel like it helped the game feel more challenging, and you could see another person with their hidden artifact skin, and you know that they had to grind for that. The Guardian Druid appearances especially look great and make the player using the form a sense of pride and accomplishment for what they did. For example, when you had a full set of Gladiator in TBC, there was no transmog, and when you had it on, people knew that you were incredible at PvP, and you generally reviewed highly by players. Now, you see someone wearing a full set of PvP gear, not only will you not know because of the transmogs, you can't even see it, there's no sense of feat that was performed, as PvP is nowhere as difficult as it was in vanilla. I'm not hating on transmog or WoW in general, I'm just saying more should be done to make players feel more triumphant after they do something in Azeroth, rather than just equipping a piece of gear. PvP's current state in the game is not too good either. This can definitely make WoW feel more like a game that doesn't have as much time and love put into it, as if you only play PvP, it might not seem as fun. As a raider, I'd be furious if all Blizzard ever did was put in stuff for PvP and not for raiding and half-assed all their raids. Well, the PvP community has felt like this for years, and Blizzard is only really counting on half the player base in terms of endgame by not putting in much love in PvP and only putting in love for raiding. The new honor system was nice, although I do know that a BG's expansion would have been very well received by the PvP community. For PvPers, the same maps over and over again can make doing BG stale and tedious rather than having a sense of immersion and buzz to be playing it. Branching from that, it's been a little bit since gears meant anything in WoW, and more than ever with the supposed legendary items dropping every few seconds, it's pretty clear that your item level and your gear has on does not mean shit. I mean, you could farm a Mythic Plus for weeks just to get a ring or a trinket you really need, have it replaced a week later by some legendary you get off a random mob in Suramar, meaning you have to use the legendary because the item level increase and the buff it gives you. Back in the day, people showed off the gear they were wearing with pride, and having a chance to get a set piece from Black Temple could give you a lot of respect, as farming your gear was much more difficult than it is now. To raid, you need to be logged on every single day to run a raid with your guild, wiping each time and having a chance to get one of the 4 loot pieces that the boss dropped. Now, you can run to the Broken Shore, mindlessly farm nether shards for 3 hours, and have a chance to run Heroic Nighthold that very night. Blizzard should do more to make the gear feel slightly more important when you play, and do more ways players can get the loot, once again that challenges them. And finally, Legion's number summary, as described by the developers in terms of numbers and growth, was said to be, and I quote, slightly better than Warlords. This means, essentially, people who tried Legion, and possibly WoW too, are in agreement that WoW's quality isn't the same as it used to be. I get where people might have come back to the game and left again, might say that because with patch 1.2 being claimed to be the biggest patch ever in WoW, Blizzard really messed up by giving us only another shard farm and a new dead content we can do world quests on. Overhyping things and then cutting them back is something no developer should do, as it does make the bar that you set for a game seem very high and then drop rapidly, which really isn't good for the game, and boasts like that oftentimes will make the game feel worse than it actually is in reality. So yeah guys, those are my thoughts on the current quality of WoW and if it's going down. I really enjoy WoW, and I should mention I have nothing against it at all, but I do want to list some reasons why I feel this can seem some way to some players, even to me at times. Make sure to drop me a like in this video if you enjoyed, subscribe for more WoW content, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.